Let's see. Okay, bear with me. So real quick, I'm going to let Barbara start because I forgot about that last week. I kind of got in a soapbox. So I'm going to let her take the floor and then go over a ton of just different things. So I hope you guys have a pen and paper because we're trying to commingle with other people's schedule, which I'm going to send a message saying, hey, you've got about 5 minutes to get on. They're going to get on and show you exactly what they did to get the percentage that they got with this strategy. So the tweaks that they made, the way they best saw it, and all that other good stuff. So Barbara, I'll leave it to you and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we just come before you, Father. Come before you, Lord, with gratitude and appreciation, Father. We just thank you, Lord, for what you're doing with our group. We thank you, Lord, for Jenny, for her leadership, Lord, for her commitment to us, Lord. And we just thank you, Lord, that you continue to just anoint her teachings. We thank you, Lord, for this group. We thank you for the people that come step up, Lord, and share their strategies and their concepts with us, Lord. We just thank you for everyone who's just being a part. We thank you, Lord, for your Holy Spirit, Lord, that continue to guide us, Lord. We just thank you for all that you're doing. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Barbara. I so appreciate you. Good morning, everyone. So real fast, let's see. So we did the challenge. As you guys know, I had some family in town and some other things going on. So I thought what better way to motivate and to encourage independence than to offer free money, right? In theory, that sounds like amazing. Well, it does to me. I was pretty just literally frustrated to say that we didn't have a very high percentage of the group even bother to submit numbers, which just says a lot. So we know in the sales industry, you're looking at a 1% of anything you do. You know, they say you'll get in touch with 10% of the leads you buy. They say that you'll drop 70% of that off. You'll end up closing 1% of that. So you're actually looking like at a 1/10% of people who will get started. And of that 1/10%, you're looking at a 1% success rate. So when you kind of factor that down, I mean, you've got maybe 3 to 5% of people who might actually do something. So having said that, my mini soapbox this morning, let me go to my messages with our Miss Donna. Donna, you are the admin, by the way. Good morning, girly. Good morning.
You guys getting along today?
I promise, Eric, when we're fighting, y'all are gonna know. Just so you know.
I bet we would.
Yeah.
I know.
You're gonna know.
Yeah, you're gonna know. I don't know how else to say that in any politer terms than to say, like, if I say something in the chat where somebody disagrees with me, or if I disagree with somebody else, I don't want the environment where we're offended. Like there are some things that have a definition that, you know, regardless of our opinions, that's the definition, right? That is a real thing. But for the most part, a lot of this stuff is lucid. So if I disagree or she disagrees, especially if your bankroll is bigger than mine, by all means, step up and tell me what you got. You know, so I'm totally okay with that, just so you know. But thanks for being the referee, Eric. I bet you'll have a good time with that.
Dude, you just had to say that when I took a drink of coffee.
Just for the record, my bankroll is not bigger than hers, so.
Okay. So like I was saying, we only had a handful of people participate. Donna, do you remember how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Does anybody have a calculator? What's 10 people out of 250?
I believe 11.
Oh, so we're going to go with 11. So you guys realize that only 4% even bothered to try to get free money. Like, so it tells you a lot of where the people are at and what people are thinking and doing. So needless to say, she is going to come on later this afternoon. I've worked with her a handful of times in other areas. She is an amazing woman. Like, her drive and who she is as a person is second to none. So she has a huge heart for helping people. The reason she wants to make money is, believe it or not, for a Gucci bag. It is not for her pretty jeans. It is for, you know, to make an impact. So she has a want to help the people who are in medical situations and cannot afford to pay those bills. So that was from us working together quite a while ago also. So you guys all know she's been in the chat a little bit. She's an older lady. Her name is Catherine. Her accuracy ratio was actually 95%. That's insane, right? Do you realize what you can do with 95% accuracy?
A whole lot.
And that's not out of like 10 trades. That's out of 42 trades.
Yeah, she killed it.
Yeah. So when you consider the fact that she's doing this around the full-time job, she does work full-time. She's doing this around a lot of things. Now, granted, she does have some experience in trading. She is not one of those people who has never withdrawn. That does not give you permission to go blow up her inbox. Okay, be polite and kind to the people who, volunteer to step up and are willing to be transparent. Because when we bombard them, then they don't want to come talk anymore. Trust me, I know quite a bit. So having said that, she got by far the best accuracy. So we are going to say, and then the person who had the most entries, which was the ultimate goal. Let's see, who had the most? It was GT. So Gregory Thomas, right, Donna? That's GT is Gregory Thomas, right?
No, hold on. I have to look.
Okay, so he had the most entries, like an insane amount of entries. Now, granted, his accuracy was a little lower, but still with that many entries, if you can learn how to manage your risk management. Who is that?
It's Greg Tucker.
Greg Tucker, sorry. There's a Gregory Thomas who's actually from the 719. So of course, that's why we know each other. So he lives really close to where I used to live. So before we moved here. But anyway, so those are the two people out of everybody. There's quite a few people who averaged in the 70th percentile, which is all I really wanted to see. Andy had a 77% accuracy. And believe it or not, that is enough to make six figures in 2 to 3 weeks. So depending on what you're doing and how you're doing it, you technically only need slightly better than 75, 76% accuracy. And then you need rules that are, written on stone, kind of like Moses. Okay, think about in stone. There is no variation to how you will take that. That is all you need. And if you realize that banks, okay, make bajillions of dollars and casinos, their entire edge and their entire profit system is based off of a 5% edge. McDonald's operates off of, 2% profit. When you guys are shying off on how much that tiny percent profit is going to do for your lives, you're really missing the whole boat, because you don't have to get 100%. In fact, I was listening to this book and it just hit me so hard. The quote was something along the lines of, and please forgive me if I butcher it, but the problem with over optimization is you end up lessening your window for error. And every good trading or investment plan needs to have a reasonable margin for error. And the more we tweak and optimize and fix things, we take away that room for error. Therefore, we take away our room for being able to do it, because breaking even is not the goal. So just that little tip that I kind of caught last week. So anyways, what we're going to do is say that, yes, Catherine and GT. So I don't know if is he on here? Hey, Guy, are you here? Is he in this right now, Donna? Is his name right on Zoom?
Let me check. Hold on.
Seems you guys like to rename yourself, like, Donkey Kong, and there's been some interesting ones for sure. Super interesting. Like, guys, we're not 12 anymore. You don't need to be princess, whatever. That's not okay. Okay, Gregory Thomas is in here, but that's not the right guy. So sorry, Greg.
No, he's not on.
Okay, well, either way, those are the two that will win the competition. And then third place will go to, again, I will let Perrin sit in on this next call, but I already had a meeting with him and I'm hoping that he uses that alert thing set up. So hold on, who had the very next highest was GT, Perrin. No, we're not doing Perrin. So Don D, are you there? Are they on here? Don D. He's usually on or listens to the recordings. But those are the three people won. So make sure you congratulate them and say, good job. They'll win either a $100 or $50 gift card, as well as part of a kind of exclusive one-on-one, well, not one-on-one, but smaller group setting where we go over how to set alerts on the 5-minute chart, because this strategy, again, is a 5-minute strategy. And if you can set a simple alert on the 5-minute chart and then just go pick and just take the trades that pop up after that, if you're trying to scalp, or you take one entry and let that one run, that's all we're going to be doing. So we're going to go over how to best use this with an alert, pick 2 or 3 pairs, gold being one of them, silver probably being the other one. And then you can pick your favorite GBP. I definitely would shy from GN personally, just because of the swings are too big and the spread is too high. But that's my preference. It's ultimately up to you. And that's what we're going to be doing on Monday afternoon next week. So can you guys give a woohoo or make some noise or something for Catherine, Dondi, and GT? Pretty please.
Woo!
I'll take it. A little on the low side, guys. I mean, it's not Monday.
Congratulations, guys.
Well, thank you. thank you to everyone who participated. So I also did a poll real quick in the group to find out who wanted to stick with this strategy. Hey, gold is selling. It's pretty safe to sell for another 10 pips if you guys are looking for an entry. Let me see how many pips to the average daily low. Definitely going to get 10 pips, possibly 15. So it's dropping right now for a scalp. But having said that, we did a poll in the group to find out who wanted to stay with this strategy and who wanted to move on. So if I go there now, I was waiting for 100 people to answer me. Just 100, one whole 100. Let's see what we had. Anybody know what the actual numbers were most recently? Here we go. So I feel the most people want to go to an intraday strategy. That's the majority out of 92 votes. 25 want to go to swings. And I don't know if y'all can handle swings because when I send out a swing trade, you guys send out 100 messages saying, are we holding this? What's going on with this? Or, okay, that's not how swing trading works. Swing trading works is you take your entry, you trust your analysis, and then you go on with your life. You're not supposed to go, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? We're not supposed to do that. That's not how swing trading works. So, and only 20% want to stick with this strategy. So for the people who actually bothered to show up today, what do you guys think? And you need to have a valid reason as to why you want to stay or go in terms of this strategy or to another one. So who's got the first vote here, just to, before we make an ultimate decision by the end of this week of what we're going to do for the next 4 weeks.
Morning, Jenny.
Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Morning, everyone. I think you'll have to change the name if you move from the scalping, because the group is called Scalp to Freedom.
Well, what's in a name? Come on, what's in a name?
But I'm just thinking that most people who became a part of it, that's what they expected to do because of the name and it. Scalp. So.
Okay. Well, again, this is just one way to scalp. So once I show that private team what I'm doing personally for my scalping, which I just set 2 or 3 alerts for 2 or 3 pairs. And if I'm not yapping with you guys, I am not on my charts all the time. Like there's no more accurate way to say that the more you're on your charts, the more money you're going to give back to the market. This is a lot of industries, the more work you do, okay, the more you're going to get paid. In this industry, trading is 10% buying, 10% selling, and 80% waiting or something, right? It's like 80% psychology, 20% learning, and then like 18% learning, and then 2% active trading. So if you consider what it takes to be a good trader, only a minute portion of your time should be spent trading. The rest of it should be spent in increasing your mental, physical, emotional health. It should be spent in understanding the how do you say that? Technological side of like all the technical indicators we use or structure. So, but okay, I hear your vote, David. Anything else you want to add?
Well, I wasn't a part of the last challenge. I was a part of the first one, but I just was too busy. I couldn't fit in. So maybe other people are in that position. I'm just making an excuse for me, so don't think I wasn't interested.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I will definitely take that into consideration.
Okay.
Thank you, David. I appreciate you.
Okay,
Good morning,
I appreciate
Jenny.
you too, Jenny.
Good morning. How do I say your name, Iris? How do I say it? It's IHOR. How do I say your name?
It's Lynn.
Lynn. Okay, I could
Yeah.
say that. Very good.
Or you knew me as Norman. For some reason, it comes up here as Lynn.
Okay.
I'm new to all this, so I don't know if I'm a swing trader or what it is. I've tried trading for the last 2 years. I was on my own until I found Pat's videos and decided to join, and I'm loving the group. But I'm new to this side of the 6-figure, trying to learn rules. I'm trying to obey my rules and stuff, trying to learn what are my rules. So I'm trying to write some down, but I didn't do any of the challenges because it's like I said, I'm new and I'm not sure how that all works.
Can I interject real quick?
Yep.
What did you have to lose by participating?
I have nothing to lose.
Okay. So like, again, every part of me wants to be loving and gentle, and that's my strong suit. But at some point, if I'm going to help you guys get to where I'm at mentally or financially, I'm going to have to be a little bit more direct. So here's the deal. if you knew nothing and watched a 30-minute video and I just sent you on your way and said, try this, what if you failed by 90%? Would you not have come out with experience?
Oh my, yeah.
Okay. So that's the message I kind of want to get across is if you know nothing, I'm talking, let's say you are the worst of the worst, the most awful, the, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how bad you are level of a trader. The worst thing you have to lose is nothing. And at the bare minimum, you're going to gain experience. You're going to gain knowledge, like at the end of it. So when we teach our children to ride a bike or to walk, we don't like give them a 2-year trading course. We don't do that. They like start standing and then they fall, right? They stand and then they fall. They bust their head. Every 2-year-old, any parent on this call can admit that they've always had a kid who got that big scab, that ungodly scab on their head at some point in their toddler years, right? But we're never going to get there if we just do a training course on how to ride a bike. You have to actively do it. You will gain 1,000% more.
Well, I lost thousands of dollars already, like in the last 2 years trading Forex, and I was trying to do it on my own until I found, something that I could actually be a part of. And so, yes, I am definitely been doing demo trading, and I'm setting up live accounts, getting ready to do live trading, and put the strategies that I'm learning to work for me. So.
Okay. Well, then look, when we lose, like there's a lot that happens. So that psychology that goes into that, there's a lot that happens when you keep getting knocked down, right?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Just no different than anything else. Like if we go on a diet 100 times, then we convince ourselves that diets don't work. If we have tried it love a few times, we convince ourselves that, okay, that's just not, it just doesn't work, right? But if you're going to stick with this and do this, you're going to have to get over that psychological, emotional nonsense and say, here I go again. Here, I'm going to put my 100% faith, 100% belief. I'm going to apply the knowledge I've learned, but I'm going to go in all the way with the same level of enthusiasm and zest. And oh my gosh, this is it for me that you did the first time before you gave away 10 grand.
Oh yeah. You're 100% right. I just like when I was doing it myself, I didn't know like what the RSIs were, all that kind of stuff. I was trying to do it on my own, and to come in and have someone be able to teach me has made a big difference in the trades, because I'm doing demo and seeing myself progress in the positive. Yeah, I've lost some trades. I've blown a few accounts, demo accounts. But I'm learning from that, and decided to join the 6-figure to learn more and be able to put those strategies to work for me.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm so glad you're here. So I take it that your vote is to stay with this strategy. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yep.
All right.
I mean, I want to learn swing trading too. I mean, I like the idea that I can put a trade in, walk away, and go. Like I have I work. I have a full-time job. I'm self-employed. I do my own work. So I actually took off today or this morning and said, I'm sitting down to do this, and then I'll leave here and go do my job that I need to go do.
Fair enough. Sounds like you've got your side hustle right where you want it to be.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I super appreciate you.
Thanks, Jenny.
Yes, sir. All right. Anybody else have any say of why we should stay or why we should go? Like, what is your ultimate opinion on how do we, because we can still discuss, it doesn't take long to teach a strategy, but when people come in, I need you guys to understand the difference in what we're discussing. So for example, if we're discussing with AJ real quick, this one cool thing that we were talking about, I don't want that to become the holy grail and all of a sudden be all you're focused on. I want you guys to understand that these are different schools of thought. Hey, Joe, I don't want to eavesdrop on you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was going to say that I just think if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Fair enough. Okay. I like it. That's definitely a reasonable train of thought. I've had it myself in many times in my life. So, okay. Anybody else?
I say we stick with it for a couple more weeks.
Okay. Eric says, yeah. Derek, what's your opinion?
We speaking like children. I want to go to the playground and swing. I like to do different things, It's just like you ladies go to a club and a guy go up to you and say, hey, babe, what's your sign? It gets old after a while. But then, everyone's different,
Well, no,
But I'm looking for this as long-term. And me personally, scalping is just unnecessary stress for me. I'm at a different stage of life than a lot of people. I mean, I'm cool. I love the camaraderie and the talking and stuff, but I know at the end of the day, I know myself. And I will not be a scalper. And I enjoy just the interaction, but personally, no way would I be a scalper because I don't want to live that way because it gives me unnecessary stress. And the rest of my life, I want to be smooth and just put in something, walk away, do other things when the market doesn't allow you to swing, and then scalp just for fun. But that's just me personally.
Fair enough. Hey, Derek, while I've got you real
Janae.
quick. Hey, Kumar, how's it going?
Sorry, my heart beats when I'm speaking. Okay. I think what I felt is if we are able to take the right entries and become an expert kind of a thing on the strategy, I don't think we need anything else. But the problem is, I mean, personally for me, is that the entries sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, most of the times goes into drawdowns and I'm not able to hold my trades and I come out of it. And then, yes, there will be some win trades, but the win trades will be like 2 pips, 3 pips, but the loss will be like 8 pips, 9 pips, 20 pips. So that's the problem which I've seen. So if we are able to
Well, no, that's what it would mean to stick with this strategy. Sorry to cut you off there, but to stick with this strategy or to go to another strategy, either way, what it would mean is we still need to hone in on that. So your ability to manage your trades, your ability to make rules for yourself that give you an edge based off of how you best see the market, how you best function and maneuver, and about a bajillion other factors that apply only to you. And maybe not to me or maybe not to Barbara, you know, they apply to you though. So your ability to do that, you're going to have to work on that, whether you're swing trading, whether you're scalping, whether you're intraday trading, whether you decide to just go for 5 or 10% a year and go to the weekly chart and do it that way, regardless of what system we use, what indicators, whether we're naked or nicely clothed on our charts, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have to work on your ability to handle that part. So that's part of the growth. You will increase that over time. You'll understand and you're going to find a way that works best for you. If it's always moving into profit, if it's tightening your stop loss, if it's having a better risk to reward ratio, which would require you to go swing trading, regardless of which way you decide to do that, ultimately that's still going to be up to you to do, no matter what strategy, right?
Yeah, agree.
Fair enough. But so your vote also is to stick with this strategy.
Scalping,
Is that
yeah, definitely, yeah, any day.
All right, awesome.
Thanks, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Leon. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I would really like to stay with this strategy because I'm like a week and a bit old into this, and I haven't got a clue what I'm doing yet.
Fair enough. Okay.
I'm in England, so to answer your question on if you could teach the London breakout, that would be awesome at some point.
It just doesn't work with Brexit. Like you have to, you understand your country better than I understand your country. So yeah. I am not a political guru whatsoever.
Yeah, for real.
All right, awesome. Well, I think I've got enough votes to say we're going to stick with this for a few more weeks. I will start to integrate how I discuss this. I will start to integrate how we could use similar thought processes and approaches to swinging. Fair enough? Kind of try to hit both sides to the best of my human ability. Deal? So that's
hey, Jenny, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
How many of the people that are in this Scalp to Freedom learning this, how many of them are actually successful at this point at growing their account and pulling some money out?
Well, so that's the whole point, ready? So we have a multitude of people. So some people aren't speaking up. There's a handful that don't super participate in the chat, but they're doing very well. But they're the shy personality that does well unto themselves. They sometimes come on or they listen to the recording. The people who I would literally pay a couple $1,000s just to please come tell what you've been able to do with what I've taught. First off, that makes me feel like $1 million. But second off, it it shows that it's not just me. Like it encourages people, it inspires people. And that's what I really want from them. But I get it. Not everybody is a people person and not everybody can handle the attention. What you guys don't understand is if I, for example, posted, we all have those emotional mental dilemmas and I'm a female. So I work a little differently, but I also have a much different heart than many. And I think it was Gary Hill. He had made like 18 grand one day. That same day was my biggest day ever. I had made, well over 6 figures that same day, but I didn't talk about it. I didn't post a screenshot. And the reason why is my inbox is full with people who are asking me to fund their accounts, are telling me that their utility bill is off. They're telling me about their story with their mother. And at first, if you want the truth, I was jumping on every one of those opportunities. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to help. I get to do this. I get to make a difference. This is what, God wanted for me. But as I've grown up and I'm still a work in progress, I've learned that when you give the family the $5,000 check to pay the utility bill, and then you see them later that day, not paying the utility bill or taking care of their kids, you really learn that it's hard. So some people just don't have the ability to handle the insane amount of messages that come with speaking up. Until you guys, I didn't know better 5 years ago. I just thought it was me being bold and me being strong and me being smart and me being me. So I was that very abrasive. I'm going to use that cruel word. I'm going to say abrasive personality I would ask the billion questions. I would private message that person. I would say, yes, I want this, and this. I need to know this. Tell me about this, and this. And I would just push. You don't realize that there are so many people doing it. So there's a lot of people who can't handle that. That's why I tell people if they're coming to my call, don't private message them. I really want to create a safe place where people can do that, but we all know it's not how it works necessarily. So.
No, that's good. I don't, well, one, good on you. There's a big difference between just giving people stuff and putting them in the same place next month, as opposed to actually stewarding your stuff well. So good on you. But no, I don't need names. I was just wondering, as a percentage, like out of 200 and some people, are there 10 people who are getting it and walking it out? Are there 50?
Well, I have one verified for sure, already hit 6 figures. I have a lot of people who have hit 20 and 30,000, a couple who've hit 50 to that $80,000 range, but the majority, but that's with anything. Now, is that the strategy's fault, or is that, because that comes into that whole mathematical, you only have a very small percentage of chance that you're going to make it. So you better decide now if you're going to be one of them. So how many exactly, I don't know. If I had to do a rough guesstimate without looking, I'd say 20 to 30 people are definitely at a place where they can withdraw just from what they've learned, either via the signals or via this strategy working with me directly.
Awesome.
So, and
no,
that's
that's awesome. No, I would say, even if those people, if they don't want to expose themselves.
Hey, Jerry, that's the second time, bro. Do it again, you're gonna get booted out.
Hey,
get him, Jamie, get him.
Good morning. Hold on, I'm gonna mute everybody real quick, and then whoever's talking can unmute themselves. There you go. If you're talking, you can unmute yourself. If not, keep it muted, because Jamie will get you.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Jamie, but I'll try. I'm far enough away. He can't get me right now.
Oh, he can get you. He's got.
Oh, that's true. He knows people who know people.
Yes, sir.
No, I was just gonna say, if any of those people have some.
Excuse me, Eric. Excuse me, Eric. Donna, would you go ahead and remove Jerry out the room, please?
Thank you. So you guys are really good at making me strong.
Jamie?
All right, sorry about that, Jenny. Sorry about that. I just don't like disrespect when people are talking.
You're good. Permission to speak, Jamie? I don't want to get kicked out, bro. I don't want to get kicked out.
Lord. Woo!
People getting
no, I'll say this and finish. I was just gonna say, Jenny, if any of those people, I agree, they don't need to expose themselves and get a bunch of inboxes, but if they had a little tweak or something that worked for them that might be useful for those of us who, because for me, even at 70%, I lost money because most of my wins are getting stopped out at that 6.5 pip, and then the losses are going to 25, and so it's canceling out.
Okay, gotcha. Well, again, that comes into us tweaking it. So maybe we can work on that. Hey guys, Gold has given us several entries just while we were talking. So you guys should have all really got a lot of those entries. If you did not, please watch it. But now it's going to be pulling back here shortly. So you guys know it's got to pull back, and then we'd be looking for the continuation. But okay, so yes, Catherine's going to come on and give her tweaks. We have Scott, Jamie. He's always willing to kind of share how he's seeing things, and he's not conflicting with me, guys. I'm not conflicting with him. What we're trying to do is it's not about stepping on each other's toes. It's about giving you guys an arsenal of. I might not see the way Jenny sees this, but man, when Jamie tells me this, I see that. Or when Scott explained the use of that center line on that MACD, I get that. You know, so when Catherine comes on, I know her favorites on a few other things. Again, she's definitely doing very well for herself in her right and her way. So when she comes on and explains what she's doing, please don't just try to manipulate and take 100% of that. What I want you to do is take that as another piece of this helps, you know, this, I see this, or this, I don't, or I can comprehend why that would be of value, and then take it from there. So we're trying to just give you an arsenal. I'm not trying to be your end all be all. I don't think I am. I thought we had a heart to heart with Irving this weekend. I know that he's not trying to be your end all be all, but at the end of the day, we have to just give you the tools to be successful. Now, what you do with those is still ultimately up to you. Fair enough? So, okay, anyways, I wanted to say this because what's his name? Elvis just called a signal. You guys aren't clear on how he's calling in signals, and here's how. You guys see this blue vertical line I drew? Yeah. Do you guys see that
Yes.
TK crossover?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got the TK crossover. We are above the cloud. That's a check, right? He pops to the daily time frame, in which case Donna is correct, although it's not a daily signal, in which case I am correct. And we looked at the color of the candle, okay? And that's all he's doing. So because this said buy, he's going for the buy. That's it. It's not ultra complicated. Now, those settings on the TK crossover for the Ichimoku cloud are from a mutual teacher that we both met. Really good teacher. This would give you a better entry if you get in somewhere around here versus where he called it. So if this is going down, you're getting the best entry, not the worst. So sometimes late isn't always bad, but you have to be able to read the price action. So anything as it comes down, you get the better entry. That means tighter stop and more profit. But if you guys notice, if I go to the Ichimoku cloud system, if it will let me, it's going to let me. 1 second. I'm going to go there, edit. These are the other settings. All it is tweaked. It's cut in half. Except for the Tekinson span, that's only down by 60, well, 30%. Everything else is cut in half. So those are the settings that are being used for that strategy, for those calls. If it lines up, you can use other oscillators and other good stuff. As you can see, you'll be getting a better entry if you're waiting. Capiche? Everybody understand why he just called that signal to buy this pair?
Yeah, Jenny, I do. Where do you find that? How do you say that? Ikimoko or whatever it is?
Don't ask me how to pronounce stuff.
Ichimoku.
It's Ichimoku. I butchered it for multiple years in public before I got it right. So it is Ichimoku. That is the name of it. It's free on every MT4. It's free on your phone. It's free everywhere. So trend right here.
Okay, thank you.
Ichimoku Kinko Hayo.
Well, if you've seen my one post when I was setting up my AAFX account, you see me text to say I thought it said swap fee, and I forgot the R in it, so I'm still learning English, remember?
It's okay. What is it? The Hikanashi candles? I kid you not, for like a year and a half in public, people listening, I called them Hikanashi Ashi candles. I couldn't say it. Like I couldn't fix it, but I don't know why. All right. Anybody have any questions on the stuff we've talked about so far? We can wait for another pullback. It's going to be at least 20 pips of a pullback, if not maybe more, is what I'm guessing for gold before we take another sell. But I wanted to go ahead and give Catherine that 5-minute window of saying, hey, if you're free, get yourself set up so she can jump on. So is that 5 minutes a good time frame to, yeah, I'm going to shoot her a message now. So you guys got 5 minutes to ask or say whatever y'all want to say. Deal?
Jenny, I'm here already.
Hey, hey, Catherine, how are you?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna stop sharing, guys. Get a pen and paper if you would. Oh, you're gonna share your screen, right, Catherine?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, I hear the last bit where you said, I'm gonna share my screen, but I'm actually using Jenny's strategy, but at the same time, I use indicators that I'm comfortable with. So I do agree with Jenny to say that, you know, each to its own. Different people use different indicators for a reason because their eyes see different things. So yeah, so you know, take it, you know, and see what fits your own liking. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so you have control over the floor with your pretty flowers. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. If you don't have a pen and paper and you're trying to, you know, understand, please get a pen and paper. You're gonna want it.
Okay. I did want to go over those entries that I took. It's 12 entries last week because I kind of fall ill. So just exactly what I do. Can you guys see my screen properly?
Yes.
Okay, so on the second window, this is Scott's and Jenny's indicator. Yeah, so previously, before I got this indicator, I also used MACD and I love zero cross. So basically, if I do not have this arrows here, I will basically just take the zero line cross. So it's very similar. And my eyes, I know Jenny loves ADX, but my eyes cannot see ADX. So the stochastic here kind of serves like an ADX for me, you know, where the pink is above the green. So that works for me. So I just want to explain. This Renko Street trend is very similar to the profit or something like that, profit filter, correct profit filter or something like that. But I like this better because it lines up better with the entries. So using Jenny's strategy, basically, when I read it, it was 5 minutes when the 3 EMA crossed 50 SMA. I kind of modified when Scott says on the 1 minute you can use 250. So what you see here on the top, the red line here is actually 250 SMA. Okay, so this is actually I've got this indicator from the market. So basically it does the same thing. So it's 3 cross 250. So what I do is I do not look at the M5 at all. I just focus on M1 chart. And if price is below, okay, and I want to repeat this because before I even use this scalping, right? Jenny's strategy, as in anything using the baseline of even the EMA or the SMA 50 is very, very powerful. Without all these indicators, when price is below or above the 50 line, it's very, very powerful. So for this scalping strategy, basically is 3 cross the 250 on the M1 chart. So I looked at price and I was also explaining using the table that I draw out. I basically mark up, you know, every day what are the possible entries. And then that's how I have that table where the time zone is. So using this first entry, I marked up all my entries on the chart. So this is the entry that I took on last Monday, and this is 8:58 my time, Singapore time. So price is below this 250, which is the 50 on M5, right? This white line is SMA 50. So price is below both the SMA 50, SMA 250 as well as the SMA 50. And this Rainbow Street trend, this indicator, I just love it and I trust it because it's fairly accurate. when I have got 3 bars confirmed, it does repaint. I'm not gonna lie, it does repaint. But when I have got 3 bars confirmed, it's very, very accurate. So, and then the arrow turns up, so I know that it's a safe entry. The reason why I did not take this entry here, the first 2 arrows, was it just first crossed. I wanted to see if it retests. So when it retests, I'm actually going for it. Okay. I got 30 pips out of 43 pips here. Okay, and I have been taught, well, kind of like when I trade, right? If the Renko Street trend, it acts as both as my entry indicator as well as my exit indicator. I will wait once I'm in the entry. I will wait for it, but I didn't have time, so I closed out earlier. But if I have time, I would have to close following rules. I will close here. Yeah, I will probably got an extra 3 pips instead of 30, but I exited out earlier before the color change. Yeah, so this is how it all lines up. This one is a paid indicator. I think whether you have it or not, it's fine. The only thing I have it there was it kind of helped me to avoid the ranges like this. When the yellow line, when the line is yellow and is below 100, it tells me not to trade. Yeah, are you guys following me so far?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we
Excellent.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
we are. That was a good explanation.
Yeah, so that's how I take my trades, and I don't take every single arrow whatsoever, because I watch to make sure that my rules are what do you call that? My rules are met. Yeah. So this is one entry. Just another example. Okay, this is another example. Renko Street trend is pink. Again, same thing, is below the 250, below 50. So there you are. And this is the time that I said. This is around 1:57. Okay, so basically I only looked at the charts during those time when I know that there are particular spikes in volume, particular spikes in activities. That's why okay, initially, to be fair, I've already traded gold, and I know that in Asia, China forms a big part of trading gold. So I know between that time from 7 to 9, that is already kind of a given for me, because I always trade gold during those times. But I'm curious as to what other time has got that kind of activity. That's why I decided to mark up the charts. Sorry, Jenny.
7 to 9 Eastern time, or what time zone, for those who are wondering?
7, let me just, can you see, no, can you see this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it Singapore time?
7 to 9 is Singapore time. Yeah. So I kind of copy and paste this table onto the Telegram. And I've also listed down the different time zones. If it's EST, it's actually 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where the spikes are usually. Another tidbit was because previously I was working in a bank, and the financial market traders actually tell me that.
Okay, but can I ask you real quick? That's the average trading range, the average. So what made you decide that it's 18 or 111, for example?
Which one?
Here, I'll circle it. I'm going to annotate on your screen. So this number or this number, is that the average trading range for that hour?
Oh, no. I had actually marked up on the charts like that. So I typically actually watch the chart, and I actually have this data. So from this to this, there's a potential maximum number of pips of 78 pips. So this data then translates into this pivot.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So I basically wanted, you may not get the full 78 pips. What I'm trying to say is that there is a potential movement of 78 pips during that time. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I have a question. Are you finished,
Yeah.
Jenny, with your question?
Oh Lord, no, but go ahead. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I'll wait. No, go ahead.
No, yes, her spreadsheets are awesome. She's made some pretty good ones that are pretty awesome. So, okay, the next question I have is for those of you're wondering, you're using still the 1 minute chart, but you've added that Renko thing, and that's free on so this first one I'm going to circle it. It's way easier. Yeah. That's free on Marketplace, right? If nothing else, can you drop that into the chat?
This is free. I think it's not in the Marketplace. We'll just drop it on the Telegram.
Okay. So I know I've already got that one. That one I've got. This one right here. Can you drop that in the chat?
This one, unfortunately, is paid.
Okay. So
But
no.
I actually like this. It's paid though. I think it's 39 bucks.
Okay. Well, you can, if you have a referral for it, you can definitely share that. If you guys think you want it based off of the yellow, does this one repaint?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, good to know. My last question is, before everybody else talks to you, I understand that those stochastic settings are from another group, but why are they so significant?
Okay, I liked it because the movement. So for example, right, if I do not have your strategy, for example, before that I'm trading off like that. So I know the green line cross. Once it crossed and I've got the 95, the 80. Once it's below 80, my previous rules was that it must cross within that zone. So I must have the pink and the green line within the upper zone before I take a sell. And then if I do a buy, for example, I will avoid all this because it's so choppy. But this area will be a good buy. I'll be watching for a buy. So that's how I like it. I was using PATS stochastic previously, but I couldn't really, I couldn't really find proper entries using that. So by far, this has been proven better for me. That's just me.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So you're
Yeah.
only taking the signals if you get a crossover between the, what is that, 80 and the 100 and the 20 and the 0.
95, 80, 5, and 20.
Gotcha. Okay.
The two lines must be at the top for me to be 100% sure that I'll take it. But with Max, with this MACD, I don't really look at this so, but I just left it there. Knowing that it has crossed, I know that the pink line has to come back to the bottom. So this kind of is like a gravity line for me. It's like a magnet that the green line has to ultimately follow the direction of the pink. So that's how I use it.
Okay. Well, thank you. I super appreciate that. And I'm so proud of you. So with those 95% accuracy, what I'm really going to want to see is I'm going to want you to send me a screenshot of how much you can grow your account. So as you know, the real traders are coming back into the market. You clearly have the tools and the patience and the self-discipline mostly to do this. So what I'm going to want to see, let's see, today is what day is it? The 21st. Is you don't have to tell everybody else, but I'm going to want to see what you've done by, let's say, February 14th, following your rules so well. Because with 95% accuracy, Catherine, there's no reason you should not be well over or at least 6 figures in the next, that gives you 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make it awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And now if anybody has any questions, do you have a few minutes from work that they can ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I actually hide myself in the room, so I'm fine.
Okay, awesome. Well, then I guess Jamie first, because he's the bold one. So, Jamie, go ahead.
Thank you, Jenny. Good morning, Catherine. How are you?
Morning.
Thank you for taking this time out. Thank you for taking this time out to share your technique and your strategy. I just wanted to find out what was the name of that Excel spreadsheet document And then is it in the Scalp to Freedom Forex 2020 Telegram group?
Yes.
The Excel?
Yes. What is the name of it?
No, I just kind of screen grab. I didn't put the Excel. I can put the Excel if you like.
Okay. Yeah, that would be awesome if you don't mind sharing.
Sure, okay, I can do that. No worries.
Thank you so much.
I'm just glad that she showed that she's making money in the early evening hours with gold. That was the direct opposite of what I was expecting.
Well, no, she's doing well. Gold does move in Asian session, but if I'm actually, I never trade Asian. I'm usually with my children. If I am trading Asian, I'm usually playing with US 30. Personally,
Gotcha.
that's why I'm gold. So just to be honest, yeah.
I've made money with gold during the London and the beginning of the New York. And then I usually shut it off after New York start going for a quarter of a half a day. And that's where I've made historically quite a bit of money before I even joined Easy Forex. So it's interesting to see her making money when the New York session literally closes a couple hours afterwards. She's making entries. Interesting.
Well, you have to still wait on spread, guys. So please be mindful that the spread opens up at 5 p.m. Eastern time, American time. So even if the spreadsheet shows a lot of volume, for us, please don't be trying to take a trade anywhere in that 4 p.m. Eastern time to 5:30 Eastern time area, because you're going to get killed with the spread alone.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 p.m. I'm in California, so it was 4 p.m. Pacific time.
You're golden.
Yeah, I'm just so. Oh, let me shut up. Somebody else talk.
What is the name of what is going to be the name of the spreadsheet so I can be looking for it, Catherine, please?
I haven't named it, to be honest. I just I'll share it on the Telegram and make sure I tell you.
Name it K Neal.
All right.
Hey, Catherine.
Any questions specifically for her? There you go.
Sorry. Thanks for sharing your strategy. Sorry, I mean, in addition points that you have, you're looking at. Catherine, I have a couple of questions. Do you always look for retest of the price to 50 SMA on M1? Because the two examples that you showed, both these cases had a retest. So do you always look at price breaking the 50 SMA and then retesting it?
Okay, ideally that's how I would prefer it. If there is no entry, there's no entry. I'll wait for another one. So that's how I want to restrict myself from taking unnecessary. So basically, I was reading Jenny's strategy, and it's like, okay, not more than 7 entries. So the first week I kind of go crazy. I mean, probably people can do that, but I think for me, and then I realized that I've been just watching too much, so I kind of calmed myself down and said, okay, not more than 4 entries. So now I've added in this rule to say, for me, I will only do max 4 entries, and that's the reason. That's why prompted me to do the Excel, to kind of, because data will not lie, right? So I want to know exactly what time is the best time for me to enter, so that I know specific timing. Plus, I added all these rules, and I watched the chart during those times quite diligently for the past 2 weeks, I would say, to understand the price movements. And retest, it's kind of safer for me.
Catherine.
Yes.
Yes, hey, Catherine, thank you for your strategy. But I just have a quick question for you. I see the line right here where you took the trade, and it seemed like everything was lined up. Could you tell me why you wouldn't take a trade right here?
Do you want to draw on the screen? Where?
Yeah, can you see that? Can you see my arrow? I mean can you see my cursor?
Nope, not exactly.
Okay, well, can you look to your right and you see your SR line, and then right below that you see a pink see a pink, you see a pink, yeah, right there, right there. Can you tell me why you wouldn't take a trade right there?
Okay. I wouldn't say that it's a wrong trade. The thing is, I'm very specific in terms of my timing. So, for example, this one is probably 1:57 my time PM, right? And also it depends. Like I said, I wanted only four trades per day. So if I've backed 15 pips already, I just don't want to keep chasing trades. You know, what's the next one? What's the next one? So and typically, you know, when you behave like that, you tend to kind of make the wrong decision. I mean, at least that's for myself. So when I backed 15 pips, I'm happy. I don't go hunt for the next one until the next so-called time zone that I'm supposed to look at. But you're right, this could be a good entry as well.
I just wanted to know. Thank you. And thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Hey, Catherine. Morning, Catherine.
Yes.
And yeah, I want to
Yes,
say
David.
thanks along with everybody else for sharing your strategy. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think it's Jenny's strategy. I just kind of improvise whatever I have.
Okay, your method then, how you work with it, because I mean, all of us have been trying to work with it, and I discovered that I've been making so many mistakes, you know, so I really appreciate it. But anyway,
No, I think what is key, right? I don't know if what mistakes people are making, but what is key for me is that it needs to be below the 250 on the M1 chart. That's for me. And then the best entry would be below the SMA 50 as well. Only then I will take the entry. And again, that's for me as well. So
okay.
And like the opposite is true, right? So if price is above the 250, preferably it's also above the SMA 50, then I take the trade. And of course, her strategy, you know, without discrediting Scott's and Jenny's, this indicator, the arrows gives you the kind of like the GPS, the direction, right? So, you know, if you don't, I personally think that now with this, I do not really need this anymore. So I count on the Rainbow Street trend, the MACD, and then with this chart indicators, the SMA, I think that's enough.
Mm-hmm. So, do you have significant number of trades where you break even, or you just win by a little bit, or do most of your trades go through to the take profit?
Okay. Because I have the luxury to watch the chart, I don't use the runs because it keeps stopping me out. So I'm not saying it doesn't work. It does work, but I'm personally not sure how to really configure in terms of the trailing stop and the take profit to make it work as well as myself. You know, I know that for a fact that because it's below the 250, below the 50, you know, and the 3 and 9 crosses, you notice that the 3 did not cross back to the 9. It just keeps, you know, tagging along. That's how my eyes looked at it. It just keeps going, right? The 3, notice that I did not cross the 9. It just straddled. That's it. And then I'm done. Here I'm done. I've got 15 pips. I'm happy.
And most of your trades are like that. You don't get, I mean.
Okay, the first week I had 2 losses and they are small. The second week, like I said, I reduced the number of trades and I only take kind of safe trades. I have been 100% win rate on my second week, so I don't have big losses.
All right, thank you, Catherine. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
right.
so I think you guys need to, okay, and because I trade gold only, I don't look at any other pairs. So I kind of just hard gold and not look at any other charts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know Jenny's a little bit frustrated that so many of us don't seem to be getting it, but I think with every passing week, I'm getting little things that I missed before. I mean, I used to be a school teacher, and I found out that sometimes there are so many things that pass over the heads of some students because of their past experiences or misinformation, and they are doing things the wrong way, and then something just clicks a little bit, and I kind of feel like things are clicking together for me, and this has been very helpful. So just to encourage you, Jenny, that there may be people, a lot of people like that. So maybe it's a good idea to stick with it a little bit longer and see how many people it will go click for in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, real quick, I'm going to interject there, David. Just so you know, I'm not frustrated. I want to be able to be an asset. I want to guide you guys, and I want to make a difference, okay? So the reason why I'm on here and I'm not somewhere else, first off, my children go to school, so me going to Bora Bora this week is not on the menu. But other than that, like, I want to make a difference. I want to help just even a handful of people change their life, because like the song I put on at the beginning of this call, there was two of them that really touched me, and that's that Burn the Ships and the Beyond Me thing. Like, what I'm trying to do is well beyond me. I know that I wasn't, God gave me certain gifts and abilities, and one of them is my ability. Like, I'm just very magnetic. People, they hear me, which is great. It does not make me super smart. It doesn't make me a perfect speaker. I'm definitely not. I barely get English right most of the time. But my ultimate goal is just to touch as many lives as I can. So I promise, when I say I'm not frustrated, I'm just looking for the most impactful next step I can make. So when I'm trying to make a decision, David, what I'm going for is the most impactful next step. So whatever that is, that's the one I'm going to try to do across the board most of the time in my own life, with my children, in my relationships, or in my business, just the most impactful next step. So, because it is beyond me.
Jenny, you're doing a great job. And from my heart, I'm not a person to be superfluous, but I'm telling you that you are really appreciated, even if not everybody says it, but I mean, I can see the genuineness, I can see the effort, and I can see, I think I can see the motive. So
awesome.
I just want to encourage you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Hey,
Thanks,
real
Jenny.
quick, Kumar, I want to interject real quick, and then I'm going to let Kumar ask his question. If you guys notice what she said she's following the rules. So the rules were below the 50. So that was part of the rules. It was below the 50 on the 5 and the 1. She just made it to where she sees it on 1. She also said, I'm just kind of picking up what she's bringing up. So she also said she's being selective. She's not going for every possible trade. She's saying, I only need a handful a day. I'm not going to try to pick every single trade. And she's being very selective. So she's taking the safest entry. So again, I'm going to pick up on everything she said so you guys can take notes on this in case you missed it. She also said she is her own manager. So we said that on multiple calls. The Ron's manager should be the backup in case you blink. It should be the backup in case, like me, you have to go tinkle or you had to get a cup of coffee or your phone rang. It is the backup. You are your own manager. So that's the reason she's getting more pips out of it, and the stop losses are more effective. And again, she also said she's feeling like she would just use those 2 variations of the 50, her little auto trend Ron's thingy. I'll circle it real quick just to show you. Hold on there. She's using this, and she feels like with just this alone, she might not even need this anymore. Okay. She's feeling like this is enough for how she sees it. Now, I say it all the time in case you guys might see the TDI or whatever it is your eyes see best. By all means, please add what works best for your eyes in the best way it can possibly work with this strategy. So she was saying all that. I just really wanted to point it out so you guys are really hearing, what she's saying. And I also wanted to ask, in case there's somebody in the chat who I think meant to ask in the chat, but instead asked me directly, what are your settings for your super easy dots, Catherine?
Okay, I think for M1, because it's an M5 strategy, the dots are just 5 minutes.
Can you right click and find out real quick for us? Let's see. 5 minutes. Those are the ones she's using. There you go. So those are most of the questions. Kumar, go ahead if you have a question real quick.
Yeah, that was the question that I had, Jenny. The SR dots, what was the time frame? So it's clarified. Thanks for that.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Catherine.
Somebody was messaging me it, so I was like, here, I'll ask. Just because.
Question.
Hey, Gregory, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Jenny? I ain't talked to you in a while. You been ducking me? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Catherine.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put all these settings in the group in case somebody?
Yeah, I can. I can.
It would be greatly appreciated.
No problem.
Thank you.
By the way, I just wanted to add, I'm I'm a no-nonsense Forex fan, so I've tested thousands of indicators. So trust me, the less on your screen, the better it is for you. It's clearer. So the only arrows that I have is just a big arrow from Pat. I have removed every single arrows so that it's clean. I think the last time I spoke to Jenny, my screen was hell, and I think I think she can't even see what I'm seeing. So I think this is a big improvement. Jenny, do you agree?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like, so I see what you're seeing on the bottom there. Now, I don't know how that bottom one is, equated. I don't know much about it. But for example, if you did take off that that stochastic, your screen would be very tidy. Like, and even if you took off well, you can keep the super easy support dots. Those are fine. But notice her chart is easy to see. She's not going to be tripped up by all this misleading information. She's following one pair and taking a max of 4 entries. So she's not playing I'm chasing every little window game. She's in it to stick around. So I think it looks way better than last time. I think last time I zoomed with you, it was like an airplane dashboard of like, oh my gosh.
I think it was Star Wars.
Yeah, right. It was. I keep one template like that just to show people what that looks like. But most of my trading has maybe one oscillator. Mostly it's naked. It has a few little doohickeys on there, but that's it. I love this MACD and I'm pretty simple. So you've done really well,
Okay.
Catherine.
The other thing I wanted to stress is I like this. Again, this is pet. I forgot to talk about it. If you notice this MA, I mean, it's to each other's preference, right? The good thing about this indicator, which is called MTF MA Cross Advance, when I first used it, it was free. And then now, because I asked many people to download it, it's now charging, just like the currency relative strength. It changes color, so that's why I like it. You see, from when its price is below, it's red. So you know that below here you're selling. And once price is above, you're buying. That's what I liked about this indicator.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I have a free version of that. If anybody needs it, I'll have to dig it up. But you just type in whatever EMA you want and then it'll change colors.
Yeah, it's really cool, right? So this is the one. So right now it's 3 at EMA cross 250 SMA. I just take off the 3 and leave the 250. So basically only the 250 is showing the color for me.
Could you put that back up there again, please, Miss Catherine?
Sorry, say that again.
Could you put that back up there again one more time, please, so I could take a screenshot?
Okay, sure.
And just so you guys notice, that follows the rules because the 250, as Scott explained, is the same as my 50 on the 5-minute chart. So all she's doing is following the same rules. She's just doing it in a way her eyes can see it, adding her little spice and charm, and that's it. That's all you guys are looking to do is that's basic rules. It's not even necessarily mine. It's just you're going with the trend and it works. So my little strategy that I've created, if you can tweak it to you, you're good. So
Just have a trivial question, Catherine.
Sure, go ahead.
On the outliers of your candles, I notice I'll see a little bright dot.
This white dots?
Yes.
You're very observant.
Yeah, I'm a technical guy by trade, so.
Fractals.
Yeah.
They are actually fractals.
Oh, okay. I was one. Okay, cool. All right.
Okay, I didn't like
sense.
the
Arrows.
fractal.
You don't like the arrows. I got you. Okay.
I didn't like the original MT4. Let me show you. I didn't realize that it was fractals until I put on the fractals again. Let me try. My MT4 is okay. It is another indicator, like I said. You can actually download it. Again, I'm watching price. It automatically joins the last 2 fractals for you, the red and the green line. So it's called autopilot.
Oh, sweet.
It's autopilot. It just joined for you the last two fractals, and then once it breaks, when you're watching fries, it breaks, and then that's another consideration that you could take an entry. Yeah, it's just an additional stuff. You don't need it there, but if you like it, you can just add on.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, that caught my attention from the very beginning.
Yeah, so this all these white little dots are drawn by this autopilot indicator.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you.
It's kind
It
of
also
neater
appears
without the triangles. Sorry, Scott.
it also appears that they're doing fractals based on a 3-candle set rather than a 5.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Scott, my brilliant emerald, super thinker engineer guy. Do you have any questions, comments, or things you want to add in terms of what you're
Nope.
seeing?
There was a question that I had, but we've moved away from the place on the charts. If you could go back to that entry, the last entry that you were showing, Catherine.
Okay, bear with me.
Why is it blue? Oh, she just programmed hers blue. On the MACD, she programmed it blue. And
Yeah, because I can't see it properly, so I had the blue as the bluish, and the pink as the bearish.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I like it actually.
And she also removed the slow MACD.
I see that too. I would definitely add the slow MACD back on. Well, and I'll tell you why. So since you're going to be part of that private training on Monday, Catherine, that slow MACD has a really good value. It's awesome.
Okay. 13. Just bear with me.
I have a question, Catherine.
Yeah.
Or Jenny, even. The Renko street trend. I have a couple. Is that one free? You said.
Yes, it's free. I'll drop it.
Okay, and the next question is, I think you said it repainted. Is there settings on that you have to set up? What are the settings if there is?
It's standard.
It's standard?
Okay.
Okay,
I use it as a default.
Okay. And do you know, maybe Jenny can answer this. Are you able to use that on any other time frame other than the 1 minute?
Yes.
Okay.
I have that on my other charts if you guys have ever noticed. So hold on, let me go to it. I have actually a couple of versions of it.
And that is the place, Catherine.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my question is, what kept you out of this?
Which one?
Just wait for it to pop up.
Oh, time zone. I'm not looking at that time.
Got it. See, this is the sort of thing that always chops me up.
If you notice, right, let me just check. Okay, this is lunchtime in Asia. I don't trade the lunchtime in Asia. It kind of always do that range. Oh, another tidbit that I do, right? So when I watch the chart, so for instance, right, I will actually draw lines on the chart when I trade. So for example, I will see where's the last price point. I will do this when I'm on the chart.
Yep.
Right, and I will measure the price point. It's just 9 pips. I wouldn't even want to do anything here.
So just like we've talked about, guys, when it starts to consolidate, you draw a box around it. Okay, when it breaks out from there, that's when you'd be looking to enter. Dr. Spiller calls that accumulation and whatever else zones, right? It's just a zone. You're waiting for it to get out of there. So when it gets stuck like that, you need to stay out.
Yep.
But as I look at it, her entry is inside the box. But it's at the time of day when she knows that it expands, apparently.
Yeah, the skinny jeans time frame.
Derek, are you clowning again? Hey, Derek, will you do me a favor? Will you message Brett? Ask him how he's doing. Say we miss him. Ask him how him and his beautiful lady are doing, and tell him that I'm thinking about Chick-fil-A this morning.
Okay.
I just want to touch base when I can because He's a cool guy. I know he backed off a little bit, so I just want to make sure he's breathing, and him and his lady are doing good.
Yeah, that's the one who just recently got married, correct?
Yeah, just share some love. That's all.
Okay, no problem. You're right. I haven't heard him in a while.
I know, right? He's my Chick-fil-A buddy every Thursday morning. He's got Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, guys, any other questions for Catherine that may be able to help you see the chart? So she's kind of simplified it. If it were me, I'd probably simplify slightly more, but I see what she's seeing. Having said that, if it's a free indicator and she can share it, she can share it in the Scalp to Freedom group. Please don't be sharing it with everybody and their mamas. And secondly, if it's not free, she could list whatever other ones she's referencing and say, hey, I also like this one, but it's not free. So there, she'll give you access to the spreadsheet. She'll give you access to, you know, whatever else she's got here within reason that she can do. Are there any other questions outside of can I have it? Which I'm sure she will come through in terms of she always has. She's been very ultimately reliable. But is there anything else that you guys have to ask her? Anything at all? This is your chance.
Time zone.
She's got the spreadsheet.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, the time zone. She's going to share the spreadsheet. And keep in mind, that's just her experience of when gold is moving. Now, if you can edit that spreadsheet and change it over time, you'll also notice some of those would have to be filtered by news. Yes. So like, Catherine, can you bring that up real quick? I'm a numbers girl, so I keep it right here for a second. I like to point out things as I see them. Oh, nope, not that one. Hold on. Let me clear my brain before I use my mouth. That might be a good idea. So ultimately, these high spikes was stuff going on, because you notice how across the board, that's not happening. Well, on any other days. Sorry, let me erase those. That's happening on these days. On that one day, right? So this is going to be kind of a fluid topic. These extreme numbers are mostly news. Would you agree with that, Catherine?
Yeah, I agree.
Which really, that skews the results we're getting, guys. I don't know why when I draw on my MacBook, it always draws weird, but on my iMac, but either way, you guys kind of get where I'm pointing out. So just bear in mind that these numbers are going to be fluid. They're going to consistently be moving. So if you can add dates or just do kind of an algorithm that takes, 2 or 3 days out of every 5 days to add it in, you'll get a more accurate number. But she did say that, look, if we're looking at this Eastern time zone, that these are other good times to trade. You don't only have to trade New York. Most of you who know me know that I'm only trading New York because I try not to be a zombie and stay up every night. I tried to get on a healthy sleep routine. I mean, I can stay up for London once or twice with you guys here and there, but otherwise, if I do that too regularly, I'm just a zombie. I can't think straight anymore. So there are good times that you guys can totally trade other than just New York. So just be careful.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You was mentioning the slow MACD. I was confused about that because I thought it was 2 different versions of the MACD you had to have on your chart.
Well, so this is an evolving group. So we are evolving together. We have people from all walks of life and all around the world. So Jenny had a strategy that works really well. Tried it with a few really close friends. A couple of them have hit life-changing numbers. I'm talking life-changing, so more than 6 figures, okay? From what we created together. Now, because God is good and I'm super blessed, we were blessed with people like Jamie, who's, been able to add insight, and Scott, who has been able to take my idea and now enhance it and improve it. So that MACD you're looking at on this screen is a culmination of my entire strategy. And it can be complicated because his brain is so
awesome.
detailed.
Muddled.
Warped.
Awesome is the word.
So awesome. It is quite a lot, but it is genius on every level. So technically this is 2 different MACDs, and you'll understand the slow MACD as we evolve to other ways to use it. And the people who are going to be in that private training, of course, Jamie, you're going to be there on Monday. then you'll understand how I'm using it for either the alerts or for exits and for even entries on different time frames. So this is still essentially 2 MACDs on one time frame,
Right.
but it's just now it's fancy to where it's reading the stuff from the next higher time frame. It's reading crossovers of the 0. It's telling you neutral territory. It gives you lot sizes. It gives you look at me warnings kind of thing. You know, stuck through. What's that country song? Sorry.
Well, they don't have the warnings yet, but they will soon.
Oh, okay. One coming has warnings. Sorry, he sent me another one and I was like, let me look at it. I was gone this weekend. And he was like, cool. So I uploaded it and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 3 pages worth of stuff here. I was like, so what's the difference? Just tell me, what is it? So it's really awesome. And we're pretty close. He's had it done. That's on me that hasn't got it released to you yet. I just wanted to do my due diligence and make sure it works in the way that it's supposed to work, like and no bugs, because we catch bugs as we go. So
Yeah, I just squashed one yesterday.
yeah. You found another bug yesterday?
Yeah, it was just involving fractal lines. It's been around for a long time.
Okay, gotcha.
And this MACD can be used on all time frames.
Yes. And I can
Awesome.
show you how to use it differently on different time frames. So if
Right.
you're looking for that trend, I don't know, there was a guy, you know, he's a very impressive trader. He's a very amazing investor. And he's talking about how do you increase your edge, right? Because in theory, trading is 50-50. You're either buying or selling, or it's moving flat, in which case you're staying out. But how do you move your edge up just slightly? And there's a couple ways to do that. Trading with the trend is one of them, because in theory, provided your management and your risk reward is accurate, you're going to be right like 70-80% of the time. You'll be wrong at the beginning, wrong at the end, and wrong if there's a big swing for news. The rest of the time, you should in theory be right.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to management and all that other good stuff. So there's a lot of ways to use this one thing that Scott has taken my little small idea. Hey, Daniel, got like some touching your phone noise or something. Daniel, somebody mute, Donna, mute him if you can. Please, pretty please. But that's it. There's a lot of ways to use it.
Is it the 250 SMA? Is that also in the group?
No, so this version was like a lot of the designers do. They let it be free until they hit a certain amount of downloads, and then they charge for it. I do have a variable version of that, and I know there's a few others that are floating around. It might take me a little while to find it, but this one changes color. Bear in mind that only works on the 1 minute time frame. So if you're going to the 5, you'd have to pick a different one, because you're programming it based off of what Scott was saying. This would equal the 50 on the 5 minute. So for example, if you were on the 1 hour trying to get the 4 hour 50, you'd have to use the 200, right? The 200 SMA, right? You'd be
Jenny?
multiplying it. Yes, ma'am?
Sorry to interject. I tried out, I was attending your class. I'm not sure which session, but you mentioned that, you know, for H450 is a bit slow and you tend to like the 33 better. So what I did was on H1, right? The best match of 33 to H1, I tried it out, is actually 126. So I just kind of play with it, and 126 kind of match up the 33 on H4.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
So we could just change the settings to match.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Yeah. So for me, if I want to do a higher time frame, i.e., if I watch a H1 chart, then I actually use 3 and 126.
And how much does that one cost?
Hold on, guys. I'm really sorry. Let me mute everybody. Go to manage participants. Hey, Donna, can you mute everybody? Okay, everybody is muted. So please don't unmute if you're not talking.
How much does the SMA charge? How much does it cost?
Catherine, you may be muted. Let her unmute herself. Catherine, you may be muted because I muted everybody. some people don't know it, but like if the phone is fussing around in their pockets and like, they have like that headset and it's rubbing against their beard or their breast or their chest, like, they don't know.
Hi.
That, no, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, when I had this, it was free, and then when I started sharing, they bumped it up to $30. I think now they have bumped it up again to $60.
Right. Okay.
That's not worth $60, just so you guys know.
Yeah. So if you can find a variation, I think it would be better.
Okay.
Yeah, there seems to be quite a few different ones. Do you know which one it is? Because I'm looking at the MT4 indicators now, and it's like one is for 30, and then there's another one for 60, and then there's another one for 60. So I wasn't sure which one to download.
It's the one for 60. I'll send you the exact one.
Okay, perfect.
Jenny, is it okay if you've got time to search for the one you have?
Yeah, let's see. Hold on.
Take your time. Take your time, though.
Just so you guys know, the money tree string line does the same thing, just so you guys know.
Oh, okay.
And that's free, so please don't go spend $60 on that. You guys,
So we can just change the settings on that.
Yeah, so type in 250 and then type in, the 3, and it's going to change colors. It's going to be pretty comparable to what exactly you're looking at.
Yes.
There you go. Be smart.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Jenny.
everybody.
Thanks, Jenny. I thought I was going to ask you the same thing because I knew when we first got in the system, it talked about using the money tree one, and I was wondering if that was the same, would work the same way.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was based on a whole moving average, not a simple.
Oh, well, see, wait, Scott knows all this detail stuff. So he knows what's the difference in a whole and a simple.
Scott is correct. It's actually the HMA, not the SMA.
Yeah, so the whole moving average is also time shifted to try to, it'll smooth it way out, but it tries to bring things closer to price. So it is a pretty complicated algorithm that generates an HMA.
Okay, so I was wrong on that, but I will find the right one though, okay? So that is not gonna work. I can see it on the chart. It's not looking the same at all. Let's see. All right, bear with me. I will try to find the other one. Guys, there's a lot of stuff we can spend money on, but let's be honest. I mean, if you're in the position where money's not an issue, spend the $60. This is a business. If you're in a position where you're finding a way to fund your account, I promise you guys can use your own due diligence to know when the line crosses, right? So make good choices. Sorry to be the mommy, but just saying.
Be wise with your pennies.
Right.
Hey, I had one comment I'd like to share before you switch gears.
Yes, sir.
Catherine, I remember you before when you shared your screen, and I really like to commend you for being willing to reinvent yourself, because I really, really love simplicity. And before, I had a hard time, but today, I mean, with your help as far as helping to redefine what she's saying, Jenny, I really appreciate the simplicity part. I just like to say that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, was that Catherine who had all that stuff on there a couple of months ago or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, but my brain is a little slow. I remember that sharing. Yes. Okay, cool.
Let's see. I'm looking for it, guys, while you guys are sharing. All right. Any other questions, comments, or need to know thingies? Anybody at all? This is your moment. 10. Because I'm shutting it down. You would wait for another.
And for all you guys asking questions, Catherine said she was going to post her configuration so you don't have to really nickel and dime her to death.
Mm-hmm. Please.
Yeah, Jenny, I'm looking at gold and I see it went up about nearly 100
You
pips.
mean penny or 2 penny her to death?
Yeah, see, gold went up nearly 100 pips. Now, really, we shouldn't pay any attention to that at all, because it doesn't meet the rules, right?
By the way, has anybody been paying attention to EUR JPY, because it just dropped like a rock?
That was Elvis's signal. Let's see. He just said exit it. I've got it up on my screen. Yeah, it fell hard.
Yeah, he called it long.
Yeah, he did. What was the stop loss on it? Does anybody know? He did call it.
I couldn't see it, so I
I
stayed
saw
out of it.
opposite direction.
Well, he was going with the trend. That's why I wanted to show you how he's seeing what he's seeing. It doesn't make it good, bad, or ugly. I mean, it's just part of real trading. His accuracy is on point. Like, so does he lose some? Absolutely. Do I trade the way he trades? Absolutely not. But am I like, is he successful in what he's doing? He is. So you can't, that's undeniable. His accuracy is high enough to work, basically. I don't see what he sees exactly, but I respect him as a trader. And I mean, some of them are going to lose. I don't know if like the Euro or the JPY had news or what's up with that, but I mean, it did go into profit. I don't know if it was a lot. I don't know. That's all I got, guys. That's it. So
It went a lot in the profit.
it went a lot in profit. Let's see. Well, how long have we been on?
Well, it may have gone out and hit us take profit then.
Well, I can't say what I don't know, so I try to. There's some things, many things have multiple right answers. In all fairness, so to me, this is definitely not a daily time frame trading thing. And like the way, so he's saying it's a daily time frame trading thing, and using a daily time frame trading stop loss. Jenny. It's not my thing. So like for me, if you're entering off the 5-minute time frame, it just, I don't know, it works for him, and I'm trying to understand it, and the signals are good, so manage them appropriately. The signals are good. That's all I've got, because I can't in any good conscience continue to speak on that topic. So that's it. That's all I got.
It may be kind of hard for him because Elvis says he normally does not personally trade with the stop loss. So I think what he's added it in, he's just trying to help those of us who don't see what he sees, for lack of a better term. But he said he normally doesn't trade with a stop loss at all.
Can you guys imagine something ready? So you guys want to trade or have results like us, right? But then at the end of the day, when we do certain things that we do, we get nothing but 100 messages worth of, oh my gosh. So really consider that, buddy. So I don't know exactly Elvis's exact numbers. He does live in South Florida and near Tampa. He is a very good trader. On many different roads. But when you guys put cuffs and filters, and this is kind of a little bit direct, but it's real. When you put filters on what you're trying to learn, it makes it really hard for us to say, well, wait a minute, this you want what we do, so we're giving you what we do, and then you fuss and you don't like it. Like even myself, I've had to grow a lot, and I'm still working through some of that. I'm human like the rest of us. Because the way I trade is simple. Like my swing trade has no drama, no problem. I win some, I lose some, but I am up every single month. I've had weeks where I took losses, but it's easy. So coming from where he's coming from, he understands what he does. He doesn't trade in a way that fits your appetite. He trades in a way that works, and that doesn't fit your appetite.
Jenny, can you explain? Again, this is a beginner's question. When you enter a trade, say you enter a trade on the 1 hour chart, do you put your stop loss on that chart, or do you move down or up?
I usually try to stay on the same time frame I'm trading on personally, but keep in mind, I use my managers as my backup, and then I'm going to check the chart every so often, and that's it. Like, I don't move a stop loss. If there's current structure or like a current swing high, swing low kind of thing, and it's not a gold or a GBP pair, I'll put it a little close and then walk on. But that's the kind of trade where I have, a trailing stop, but I'm just looking to get what I can get and do it safely. That's how I personally do it.
So, because I was confused because some people were saying if you enter on the 4 hour, you put your stop loss on the daily or on the hour.
And Leon, that's why it's important for you to say, okay,
I don't do that. But I was confused, so I thought I'd ask somebody that knows.
I'm not going to expand my risk and decrease my take profit.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay. Now, this is where you close your eyes and say, well, Irving said this, Elvis said this, Jenny said this, the burning bush said this. So that's who I want to be, and I'm going to put my stop loss on the same time frame I enter. I'm going to enter based off of these rules. I'm going to manage it in this way, 1, 2, 3, XYZ. And now I'm going to track my results for 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks minimum. And I'm going to see where that gets me. And then when I drag and drop those same trades on the chart, I'm going to see what I did wrong. I'm going to see, okay, well, this one I was right, but my management sucked. And then I'm going to say, okay, this one I was wrong. But if I had my stop loss better, or I give myself more room, I would have been right, and then you'll see how to tweak. So for example, let's say you took 100 trades in 4 weeks and you actually do the day of work where you drag and drop each of them on the chart and you take notes on those. Let's again, provided you even stuck with one thing for 4 weeks, God forbid. Okay. But seriously, dragged and drop each one of those entries on the charts. And you say, okay, well, this one, I did not follow my rules. I lost. This one, I lost. My stop loss was too tight. I would have been right. This one, I won really big. Here's how I manage that one. So, ooh, I know what to do next time. This one, I won just barely. My manager took over when I walked away. So maybe that's not a good way for me to do things. And this one was a break even. I know I had a concert that night. And when you combine that effort and that energy, and you have that much data, so just please understand that. If I give you 100 pieces of data based off of Jenny, okay, and everything emotionally going on in my life and everything that I do, that has a value to you. But most of your value is going to be in your own data after 4 weeks of following one thing.
Yeah.
So just saying.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, DJ, long time no talk to. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. They had me working a lot last night, so I didn't make the first part of this call. So I just I overheard you say, or Catherine say, that she only takes she's very selective with the trades, and she may have already answered this, but when she says that, she's saying basically she waits till every single indicator on her chart is lined up before she takes the trade.
Yes, sir.
Is that what? Okay. And secondly, I've really been watching the videos, like really binge watching them, really taking a lot of notes, and I think I'm finally starting to really get it. Last night I took 5 trades actually, and I won them all. 3 actually hit target profits like 25 pips each. I grew my account from $50 to like $160 right now in like one day. And
woo, good job.
I know it's still baby money, but
That's a Jenny lunch. That's a Jenny lunch, $150.
Hey guys, wait a minute. Listen, Linda.
But my thing that I'm still kind of getting hung up on, I notice, is that I started learning a little bit about market structure. And even when I see the signal to go short, for instance, if I see there is a support zone, then I'm hesitant to enter the trade. But then a lot of times it still breaks that support zone. I'm trying to figure out, should I just disregard that and just strictly follow the indicators?
So DJ, I know how your mind works because I've worked with you enough. And I know what you're capable of. So you have to be able to look at your chart and say, is this helping me or is this hindering me? And the truth is, I can't decide that for you. And honestly, Catherine can't, Jamie can't, not even, no one can except for the burning bush. Okay. None of us can. So if you go back and take the last 2 weeks of wins and losses, right? And you drag them and drop them and say, well, wait, those stinking supply and demand indicators, they repaint. So if it repaints, you would have no way of knowing, that it busted through that structure and you didn't see that when you back test. So I guess that's kind of void, But either way, you're going to have to decide, what is this helping me or is it hurting me? Because no different than the breakout boxes. And enough, especially on those 1 minute time frames, if the box is less than 10 pips of movement from top to bottom, you're skipping that trade. If you have to wait for it to break out, probably 9 times out of 10, it's going to retest. So don't be terrified to miss the move by waiting to see if it does break that structure and then retests it. That's part of having specific rules, and only you can decide what your eyes see best. So if it was me, and so for example, here, I'll get out my little annotation tool. I usually have it at purple, but I was on a call last night. We changed it to orange. So like this right here, for example, with my messy drawing, if you had this, you know, indicator to sell and everything lined up, let's just go off of the basis of that's what happened. But you see that it's been really bouncing around. One of your rules can say, well, I'm okay with missing a big chunk of the move. I'm waiting for the retest. And you will get, that's the blessing of being on that smaller time frame, is you will get confirmation of a retest. So that's the 3 and 9 cross. We're below the 50 on the 1 minute, below the 50 on the 5 minute. Those are the actual rules. 1, 2, 3. We retested the 0, 4. Those are the actual rules of the strategy. You will get another entry, but only you can decide how to best handle that. So if you're using that one indicator with the boxes, that's up to you because it repaints. So it's really hard to go back and test if it was valuable or not, right? If you're using the one that has the boxes on it that says, here's your gone support, here's your gone support or whatever, there's so many different variations of it, right?
Yeah, but I don't use indicator for supply and demand. I just draw from the last, place where price reacted, like a lot in the past.
That's not a universal concept. So take this, for example. This right here, when this is coming down to this area, and this, let's pretend this is where we're seeing the chart. And granted, I don't know where you see the lines I'm drawing. You might say, hey, wait a minute, I don't like it. Okay, this coming up, price stalled out in this point. There's support and resistance here. I'm gonna skip it. But that's where your rules that say it broke below and I'm waiting on that retest. Perfect. Again, you got your retest, even with what Catherine has on her chart. Okay, everything lines up. The fast MACD came and retested the 0. We are definitely in bearish territory. We have 2 to 3 bars on our Renko 1. We have a 3 and a 9 crossover. We're below the 50 on the 1, below the 50 on the 5. And we even have support and resistance provided it didn't repaint. Everything we're doing is confirmed.
Yeah, that's the perfect move right there. But now knowing how I'm reacting to that, I still would have looked at that and seen the last
you would have seen this and said, no, price is turning around.
Exactly. I'm like, let me wait and see, make sure it's a huge momentum candle going down or something. But then I would have missed the whole move if I would have waited for that.
But that's why we're on the 1 minute. Go ahead.
Can I just interject? Okay, my experience, right? I just feel that we are our own worst enemy. We kind of self-doubt ourselves a lot sometimes. So, and throughout the journey, right, with Super Easy, I think what I've learned most is actually myself. The reason why I got more tips, right, is I start to look at the chart. And the reason why I just trade gold is you got to know that pair so well. And if you start, it's fine if you draw lines, but you just need to be able to kind of understand that pair a bit better, because many a times, when things just move away from what I initially think is doing, and then I cast doubt on myself, and then I will not be able to hold. For example, if the price moved against me, or so I start to, I think the only way to actually do it better is really to know yourself, and like what Jenny says, look at your past trades to see what you have, where you freaked out, you're afraid to take the trade. And many times when you have the experience, you will realize that actually you're right, but it's just that you cast doubt on yourself.
Thank you, Catherine, and thank you, Jenny. I appreciate the help. I'm just I'm gonna get my data together. I'm gonna do what you guys said and just see what's working.
Fair enough. So that's why we have rules though, DJ. So we're not trading that. So that 3 and that 9 cross, everything is lining up. That's why this strategy is built the way it is. So that's an entry. This is an entry. Okay, so we can just count them. So I know you can count to 5. So we're below the 50 on the 5. We're below the 50 on the 1. We've got a new cross. Even this indicator that she's using is on there. We retested the 0 on the MACD and we broke below it. And then even here. So everything we're doing is saying this is golden. The slow MACD is still below the 0 line. That indicates overall trend, right? So that's what's happening. Like if you have enough confirmations, you have to say, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to trust this, that it's going to continue down. If for some reason you're wrong, Okay, you have to be able to trust yourself. So if you got out with only a couple pips, fine, you could re-enter here, right? So it's just in how you see it. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's going to be you.
And trust me, I see all those moves, Jenny. Like like you said in hindsight, we're all millionaires, and yeah, back testing millionaires, and it's just it's kind of frustrating because I always got to kind of talk myself out of exiting the trade, because it's like I'll see the move and I'll take the move, and then I get a little bit of a drawdown, and then I gotta remind myself, okay, this thing worked X amount of percentage of the time in the past, so why would this be any different just because you entered the trade? And I just gotta kind of just walk away and let it do what it do.
Well, that's what, so this is psychological, right? So Pat would say it. I learned that from Pat probably more than anything else, is just the psychology, the emotional control. So if you have a 50% chance of being right minus whatever edge the brokers have, and you actually follow some basic rules and don't get tripped up on your emotions, you will have beat the system. But because it's so emotional, because guys, we're not trying to get pips. I mean, yes, I wish you guys would just count pips and not dollars. But here's what you're seeing when you look at this chart. You're seeing more than colors. Some of you are seeing your hopes and dreams. Some of you are seeing walking away from your job or buying your wife that dress that, brought tears to her eyes when she saw it. And she was like, you just wanted more than anything to get that for her. Some of you are seeing the people in the hospital who have no access to medical insurance. Some of you guys are seeing an ability to take care of your parents after all they've done for you, or a car which you desperately need because yours is so broke down it barely runs. When you're looking at this right here, you're looking at more than just colors and candles. So this little screen has your heart and your soul and everything on there. So of course, all they have to do is manipulate it a little bit and they've got you beaten. Period. Just control that. Like, that's it. Just follow the same rules and your psychology won't get tripped up. This is super easy. It literally is super easy, not just because of the name of the company.
Jenny, you're right, because I upload counts and then I go back and go, okay, I didn't follow my rules, or I got so cocky of myself saying, oh yeah, I did this and I'm going to enter a couple more, and next thing I know, it does a drawdown and I'm in multiple negatives, and then I go back and go, I didn't follow my rules, and so I have to start all back over and go, okay, I'm doing my rules. But I do have a question. I love numbers, and it doesn't apply to the chart that we're looking at. It applies to the six-figure trading plan.
Okay.
So say I start with $100 and I go to the 120 and I'm in a trade and I know that the trade is trending either up or down, and I'm going in the way of the trend, and say I'm doing like a swing trade or a long trade, like say a week or more, and I know the trend is going, and I'm going with the trend. Is it smart that once I get, say, to the, okay, so it says 120, you enter like an 8-cent trade, if I read that right. Is it smart to get out once I get to the 144 and then re-enter the trade with a bigger pip size? Or
Again, comes down to you. So Jamie and I talked about that often. Jamie has made an art out of getting in and getting out. Like, so some people, their value will be in holding this trade. So take what we have on the screen. Let's just go off of a single time frame, not multiple time frames. Everything kind of is lining up. This could be a fast entry. This is your best entry, right? And you took the trade. So Jamie, for example, and myself has made an art out of, I see this entry, everything lines up, I'm good. I take one, I take another, I take another, I take another, and I'm writing them all down. So because this was at a dollar lot size, this was at a 1.5 lot size. Wow. Don't judge my handwriting. This was at a 2.0 and whatever and so on, right? This one move could be worth $300, right? If I had stacked it.
Yep.
Or it could be worth $50.
Okay.
There is nothing wrong with either answer. One of them takes a lot more due diligence and confidence and time. One of them is a slow but steady and safe way to do things. Doing it this way, where here's your stop, right? You took your entry when everything lined up. This was your first entry. And then you actually just held it, for example, until your fast MACD and this. I'm just using what she has on her chart, okay? So until we had enough confirmation to get out of the trade, in a perfect world means you caught all of it. In the real world, we probably didn't catch all of it. But let's just assume that's how we did it. This is a great risk to reward. That's great. Oh, I can't draw. Clear all. This perfect risk reward. I mean, that's a huge take profit and small stop loss. Perfect day scenario. But that means you're going to have done all that and you're going to be up $7 on that day, 10 the next, 25 the next. You have to mentally and emotionally be able to handle that slow of a growth. And then again, if you're taking this way, you have to mentally and emotionally be able to handle your margin, your stacking, your leverage, and actually a ton more information to be able to do this successfully.
Okay.
Because ultimately your stop loss or your risk to reward is either going to be getting worse, depending on how you're trading, or depending obviously on your trade manager settings, and your potential profit is going to be getting smaller each time.
Okay.
Does
'Cause
that answer?
Well, yeah, because what I did, and I it's a demo account, and I tried to I wanted to actually see what would happen. I got on a trade. Say I wrote it down to the first one, or it went to that first pull where it did the pullback there, and I was in on the managing side of the margin of what we should be in, starting at a certain amount of dollar wise. And then when it moved down and I made that extra money, instead of getting out of the trade, I entered. So say I took the 100 and it went to the say 144. Then I opened up another trade, say at the 10. Well, the next thing I knew, it did the pullback, and then I was in like negative again, going, okay, is it going the opposite way now, or is it still going to be trending? And then so I ended up getting out of the trade. I think I made like $13 or something on it, which I said, okay, I'm going to learn from what I did. But I was just trying to figure out, is it best to get completely out and then start over, or to compound trade, like stay in the 8-cent trade, and once it gets to 144, maybe open up a dollar trade, or I think is what is the next one at the 144, and then ride it down. I'm just trying to throw out ideas to see what anybody's done.
Ultimately that's going to be up to you. So
okay.
Again, we can't decide what works best for your personality. Like you have to decide that at the end of the day. So I mean, if you're looking to take a lot of entries in a day, and like you're, excuse my French, but pedal to the metal kind of, I'm doing this, I'm looking for from my 5 to 10 entries a day, and I'm all about this. I don't mind blowing $100 account, and I'm in this. Okay, then this would be your best approach. If you're looking for, I am definitely clearing 6 figures within the next few months. I don't care if it takes me 1 month. I don't care if it takes me 6, but I'm going to make 6 figures before the first part of this year, period, end of story.
Mm-hmm.
Your safest, slowest way would be to catch this move, or most of it, a portion of it, whatever way works best for you, which means you need to have rules for exit. Keep in mind, these dots repaint. This, as you can see, popped up to buy, but it wasn't in conjunction with this. So this popped up to buy. You see how this MACD and this, so this would have probably gotten us out.
Oh,
if
yeah.
for some reason we got out, we'd have to choose to get back in. But you'd have to have enough of an exit indicator that says, wait a minute, I'm still below the 50. I'm going to hold.
Okay.
Of course, you can wait until you are above the 50 again, which would be here, which caught most of the move. Like, I don't know exactly if Catherine if she's there, can measure, from here to here, you're getting most of that move. Like, I don't know exactly how much, give or take, with my messy drawing. That's 80 pips. So go up to this line right here. Right there. So 80 pips, you would have caught safely, this star. So about 40, 50 pips, kind of what I was thinking.
Okay.
One trade with great risk to reward management. But then you're not going to get there overnight, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with dedicating an hour or two to your trading to say, hey, we're going to catch this move. We're not going to get out until For example, you can say until the fast MACD crosses above the 0, and you have 3 lines on this indicator, and you have a 3 and a 9 cross. Like, you'd have to have just as many confirmations to get out. The very latest you're allowed to get out is right here where the 3 crosses the 50. At that point, you have to get out, period, no matter what. Which still meant you caught more of it. Now, if you found a way to get out at this spot, of course, you'd be a little bit better off. But notice that we wouldn't know the difference between here and here. We would have no way of noticing. Because technically, well, yeah, we would clear all my drawings. So on this one, when it crossed back up, the 3 and the 9 crossed, notice how we did not have 3 bars here, and the fast was not in conjunction. This is simple rules, but most people aren't following them.
Yeah.
People think, well, how are we going to know how to catch it? How are we going to know to get out or in? Just some basic rules put to practice. We wouldn't have got out there, so we're safe. We wouldn't have got out on this one either because, well, it took to here to get 3 bars, and even then this was a bit choppy. So you might have got knocked out, but again, you got a new entry, so you're fine. Just to give you an idea on how I see this. But ultimately, you have to create the rules that work best for your personality, your time schedule, your lifestyle, and say, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to do this like it is the 10 commandment level. I mean, there is nothing but these rules at all. And if you're not going to try it for 2 to 4 weeks, I'm not to be mean, don't do it at all. Because if you're not going to follow any one set of rules for 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to get a whole bunch of good at a whole bunch of nothing.
Yep, you're right.
And that's where most of you are at. And I've been there too. I'm not judging you. I'm not in any shape way better than you. I was the queen at going from every strategy under the sun. I know a whole bunch of strategies, but I never stuck with them. And that's why I was where I was. It took me sticking with them long enough to say, I'm going to perfect this. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to know this. And when I'm good at it, until I've made money on it to where I can withdraw, I'm not leaving this strategy.
Well, that's where I was at. I mean, I didn't stick with my rules, and it's where I've come to where I've decided I have to stick to my rules because I've noticed that once I do, I am successful. Even though I'm only doing a demo account, I'm still in the process of opening my live accounts, and I'm actually gaining a respect for my wife from it. She's like, okay, I can actually see that you're actually doing something now.
Okay, well, make sure she gets some love. Okay.
Oh, she gets a lot of love, and she's actually behind me in this because she's seen where I've grown, and she sees that I now have a strategy, I have goals, I have a plan set in front of me, and she's always said, you know what, I believe you can do this. I can't believe you stuck with it as long as you have, and I'm like, well, I know I can make something.
Well, you guys notice what Catherine said? She said what she learned the best after all this time was she learned herself. Like, that's probably the truth. Is I am not wrong. This strategy works. This one works really well. It's one of my favorites in terms of scalping. It works, honest to God, very well. People are becoming 6 and 7 figure income earners from this little nothing on the screen. Even Catherine can tell you, and I can tell you, I have learned more about myself from trading than I have from every other industry or endeavor I've ever done in my entire life, because investing, especially when there's no one to blame. So y'all can get mad at me when your strategy doesn't work, but the truth is when there's no one to blame but your entries and you alone, you have to learn, oh my gosh, I'm pretty impetuous. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty, I am cocky. Like, I let emotions get to me. I don't follow my own rules. I am not as honorable as I thought I was, or I am a lot more, not nearly as disciplined as I thought I was. When you have to own you, you're going to grow so much.
Yipper. So Jenny, quick question. You know, from the survey you sent out yesterday, and just from this discussion today, what are the next steps for this group, and what should we be focusing on?
The next step for this group, like I had mentioned, getting ready to get off here in a little while. I'm trying to focus on time on task, but is I am only looking for the next most impactful step. And if you want to stick with this a little longer, I will start maybe playing with this also in terms of swing trading or intraday trading to show you some different variations of the way I use it, but stay the course. So we went a couple weeks live. We got on average 7 to 10 trades. We won a lot of them. So I barely worked a couple of weeks. I mean, I got close to 100% with this strategy. Granted, I know what I'm doing in all fairness. Like, so I guess for right now, my ultimate I will make
And when
it.
you say this strategy, the one we've been on for the last couple months, that's
Yes,
what you're
this
referring to? Yeah.
exact strategy.
The 3-9, yeah.
Well, it's more than the 3-9. So if you're not seeing it, like, these are basics. So we're definitely going to stick with it to the end of the week. I don't know. I will make an ultimate decision come by Friday of what we're going to do next. If we just stay the course, maybe we can pick a few random times. I can make a schedule for like the following week, for example, where we'll go and we'll scalp some gold. We'll have some people pop up their screen if they're available and say, here, this is what I'm looking at. Here's how I'm seeing it. Should we enter or not enter? How many confirmations does it line up? We can definitely do that as we teach and stuff, because keep in mind, Pat goes through a 4-hour signals. Irving does his own stuff and he gives out analysis based off of 4-hour and 1-hour time frames, right?
Right.
Gives Elvis gives his TK Cross 5-minute maybe daily thing. So you guys, we have enough from all walks of life. The one thing we don't have is really this. So I don't know yet. I will let you know. Fair enough?
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Any other questions?
Miss Jenny?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. A little bit of everything is covered from everyone.
Yes. And plus, I have the Tuesday night beginner stuff. So for those of you who are really not understanding some basic stuff, please don't be shy. First off, I run out of stuff to talk about to myself, believe it or not. Like, so come on there and come hang out, ask your what seemingly ridiculous question may be, and come hang out. Because truthfully, you'll be doing me a favor, okay? And getting some help for you. So we've covered on most areas. And Tuesday night, we can also go over more 4 hours, which you only need to do once or twice a week anyway. So.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, what?
On her chart, would you say, in your opinion, what we're looking at in the upper right corner, that's pretty generic stuff?
If it helps, like, I'm all about if it helps you, great. If it's not, it's noise. If you want me to be like legit critique what I'm seeing, is that what you want?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So don't take like, this is just me. Okay. Okay. Ready? We're going to do this. Most of this, there's enough variations that if she sees this, great. But I found that these, as well as my GG trend, I found that it lags too much and it can be very misleading and it becomes noise. So if you're not making a decision based off of this, I would get rid of it. As for this, to see the price is nice, especially when you're calling signals. A picture of the spread is great. Pips to open, I like. High to low, I like. Again, information is the most important thing you can have, so I love it. Obviously, I recommend the ADR, so I love this. We created this. I love this. I have a lot of different versions of this Renko trend dealy thingy. I do believe there's another version I kind of like slightly better than this one, and I'm willing to show you them all. Maybe we can do that on Thursday. We'll just have them all up there, and I'll show you why I like certain ones better than others. I don't think any of them are, the holy grail. I think ultimately it has to work with who you are and what you see and how it functions. So a version of this I think is kind of nice. I like it on most of my charts, believe it or not.
What?
Hey, Jonathan, we don't want to eavesdrop, guy.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. But I unmuted because I had a question for you and I was waiting for an opening.
Okay, 1 second. You'll get to the open limit. Let me answer this other question, but stay muted until then. But I think it's your lady talking in the background. So to recap, I like the ADR. I like information. I would probably veto any GG trend finders or these like colorful boxes because I don't find them beneficial. Obviously, we created the MACD. I'm all for that. Any version of this kind of trend that we see here, I like them. I like them a lot because it's just clean and it's easy and you can keep it really skinny. Obviously, the 3 and the 9, I'm all good for. The 50, I'm good. This version, Do I need one that changes colors? I don't know. But it is nice to have, I guess. So I would just put, a multi-time frame moving average, actually. I would do no color change, multi-time frame moving average, which that I definitely do have free. It won't change colors, but it would be to where on any time frame you're on, this would be the 50 on the next higher time frame. So that's kind of nice. I would get rid of this.
Frankly, that would be easy to code too.
And yeah, I think I could ask Scott, but you could have that done in way insane. So I'd say no arrows. I'd say no support and resistance. I don't know what the rest of her lines and doohickeys are. I've seen variations of this. I find it pretty interesting. So if she likes it, she should keep it. Again, I'm all for info. And again, I don't want to say anything good or bad about this thing on the bottom, mostly because I don't know about it. So if it ultimately helps the way she sees things, good on her. Like, do I need it? Probably not. Like if her eyes see this yellow thing, I could see that of being of value because it keeps you out of noise. So this potentially could be a value, just from what she says. And I trust her judgment as a trader. Again, I've worked on and off with her. So she is definitely a thinker. She's kind of like our Scott, but just in a different way. So she is a thinker by all means. So that's what I'm seeing. I would simplify this to the nth degree and then follow a set of rules that cannot be manipulated. And Nate, we don't want to hear you stir your food or whatever you're doing.
Hey, Jenny, can I interrupt for a second? Hey, guys, you know what? You guys are really losing your professionalism and discipline. You know, Jenny's not getting paid to do this. So here's a quick class. If you want to unmute yourself, hit your space bar. If you need to mute yourself, hit the space bar. Okay? Because Jenny can't just end this call real quick. And there's a lot of leaders out there who actually end calls when they keep getting rudely interrupted. So show some class and some respect. Okay?
Thank you, Jamie. You're my hero. Okay, but yeah, guys, that's about it. That's what I'm saying. That's how I would personally do this. But I want you to know it's not about me. It's about you. Ultimately, it's all about you and what you see best and what works for you. Take this and tweak it to your liking. Take this and tweak it to what your eyes see. Don't change it. Just tweak it to where you can see it. And Catherine's been able to do that and has had some amazing success with the way she sees the market. So that's it. All right, last question from whoever that is that was asking. We're a little bit on over on time, but let's see what we've got. Last question. Well, who was it?
Well, I did have a question. And what I was wanting to know, I'm new, and I was looking at this scalping strategy you're doing right now, but I went through your videos and I saw one where you had the SAR and it was called the 10 pip dip and flop or something. And you said it had a 93% accuracy. What is the accuracy of this one?
This one's higher.
This is higher?
This is higher. Well, that's
Oh,
got
okay.
so that has a 15-minute time frame. And if you're following all the rules, you have up to a 93% accuracy. So
Okay.
For you, what you would have, I can't say. Now the
Okay.
sounds are great if you know how to use them, but that chart has a lot more noise. So one of the people that we created this strategy with, this one was substantially higher than that one.
Okay.
But this one's also more duplicatable because there's less noise, believe it or not.
Okay.
A lot less indicators. There's a lot less drama in terms of that. So
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot.
you are welcome.
Jenny, one quick thing.
Yes.
And this is more of a comment than a question. It is that the difficulty here is that this group has been around now for, I don't know, what, 4 months? And there's always new people coming in who are trying to play catch up. And
Yeah.
it might be worth generating a schedule that says, okay, as of the 1st of February, we're starting this other thing. You know, be ready to start. We're starting over.
That's what I was thinking too, because what happens in 2 weeks, we have 40 new people, and then they don't want to leave the schedule. And it's like, and then every 2 weeks, you got 40 new people. And then 2 weeks later, you got 40 new people. We will never move forward.
True. So, well, here's the deal, guys. We can do variations of scalping. All the information is not going away. So the idea is, as you can hear, Catherine's on here. As you guys can hear, Scott's constantly contributing. We've got Derek, we've got Jamie, we've got people who kind of come. We've got Barbara who prays with us and Avery who newses with us. And we've got a team of amazing people. So my concept is all of this information, all of my personal intellectual data, as well as all of this that we're creating as a group, we would just file it all under like a We the People kind of document slash spreadsheet slash website, and it will be there for everybody. But we can't do we can't just stay on this one thing because there are people who their eyes won't see this. And honestly, I still think it's one of the better scalping strategies. But to honor the people who can't see it and just are really struggling, it might be okay to move on to another scalping strategy, or to at least discuss how we use this in swing trading. Because once you guys get a taste of swing trading, if you're willing to follow any rules, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I have a life. I can go do other things. So it'll be a lot of fun. So
Hey, Jenny, can I ask a quick question?
yes, sir.
Hey, it's Lucas. How are you?
Wonderful. And yourself?
Good, good. Just a quick question. A few, maybe 20 minutes ago or so, I heard that one rule that I hadn't really heard before. Maybe I overlooked it. But on the, I certainly understand that on the 5 minute we want price to be above or below the 50. But I wasn't, and I'm using the two window strategy, right? I haven't done like the 250 SMA or whatever. So do we also want price to be above or below the 50 on the 1 minute? Do those two need to correlate?
For me, I'm a different level of a trader, and I see things a little differently. My version of structure is a little differently. I don't desperately need that rule, but what we were going over today is kind of how Catherine sees it and how she gets the most accurate, most simplistic, kind of easy to follow and duplicate trades. So again, she needs to be duplicatable. So she's not looking for one win, she's looking for a series of wins. So for her, yes. For most of us, I mean, being below the 50 on whatever time frame you're trading is a way great way to trade. I don't care who you are or how you're trading. It's a great way to trade because you're always with the trend. You're only going to be wrong in big swings for news at the beginning and at the end. Every other time you're going to be right.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So is it part of the have to? No, it's not part of my have to. But is it a good piece of evidence? Is it a part of your checklist? I think it definitely should be a part of your checklist.
Okay, cool. Got it. Just another confirmation. Okay, sweet. And then finally, I don't know how I can accomplish this because I'm on a Mac right now when I'm talking to you, but my trading's done on a PC.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the problem is I can't get Ron's trade manager to work. I've got it installed. I finally found the frowning face, but I can't get it to smile, and I don't know how to fix that.
Okay, those are probably just basic settings. So the first thing you're going to do is download Zoom on your MacBook or your iMac, whatever version you're using. And then on the next call, we'll have you screen share and we'll walk you right through it. I promise you, it's one of the silliest things. It's going to be one of the options or one of the tools, or it's just a setting. That's it.
Okay, cool. So I'll try to do that on Thursday with you guys.
I posted links to videos in the group for how to set up a EA, and all of the instructions are there.
Okay. Is that Scott talking?
It is.
Hey Scott, what should I search for that?
Just go into files. I don't know how many are actually in there.
Okay. Okay, I'll check it out, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah, just look for expert.
Okay.
Probably look for the word expert.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Sorry.
Does anybody have anything for me quickly? Because I need to bug out of here in about 5 minutes.
Oh, you're good. Me too. Kumar's last question, and that's it, guys. We're hopping off.
Okay, then I'm heading out.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate you so much.
And all of you.
Thanks, Scott. Jenny, I just a quick thing. I have an indicator, customer indicator, which sends out notification when a triple R has been formed. If someone wants it, I can share that, but with your permission. If it's okay, I can share it.
Yeah, that's fine. You can share that within the scalping group or the discussion group. But we're trying to keep it to where the new people joining the super easy group aren't overwhelmed with different stuff, that they understand the system is the system and that's all they need. So please keep it out of the super easy group. We're doing our best to create sections here. So we're trying. Fair enough?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Kumar. Super.
Thanks, Jenny. Thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, that's enough. Can you guys all please make sure you give a great big thank you to Catherine. Congratulations. We will go over again the winners and we'll schedule a call for next Monday, and they will definitely get their Amazon gift cards and rewards. We're going to make sure we get their email addresses as well. So this will be in the recording. So please watch it, because if you can just hear what she's doing or listen to her voice just one more time, understand that I'm not that special. She's, not a genius either, but she's doing it because she was able to use something and find a way to make it work for her. So Please, please, please make sure we give a shout out and thanks and lots of love. Ask questions in the chat only. Don't blow up her private messages. And other than that, we will follow up on Thursday. Please go looking for entries. You guys have time frames now to go look for them. Don't look to me for them, but go look for them yourself. And obviously, if you're seeing one you're not sure, you're seeing one you want to share, post a screenshot, because then the rest of us are going to be able to say, hey, wait a minute, gold's moving again. And cool, we're going to get on that bandwagon too. So the win-win. Fair enough?
Thank you,
Anything
Jamie.
else?
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you,
Thank
Jamie.
you.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thanks,
Thank
Jenny.
you,
Thanks,
Jenny.
Catherine.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks,
thanks
guys.
everybody. Have a great day, guys.
Mwah. Have a great day.